On the news tonight, INEC urges registered voters to participate in mock accreditation. Governor Adeleke reiterates his commitment to repositioning Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. CBN governor says banks will accept old notes after deadline. And on the foreign scene, United Nations call for independent investigation into war crimes and crimes against humanity in Mali. Good evening, the major reports. My name is David Ojo. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has urged registered voters in the 436 designated polling units nationwide to participate in the Saturday mock accreditation with the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made a call when he received a delegation of the International Foundation for Electoral System led by its president, Mr. Anthony Bamburi in Abuja. Professor Yakubu also urged registered voters yet to collect their permanent voter cards to use the opportunity of the extension of the deadline to collect their cards, adding that the Commission is committed to free, fair, and credible election and that the will of Nigerians will prevail during the exercise. According to him, there are 436 designated polling units nationwide, 12 polling units in each state of the Federation, and 4 in FCT, so that voters can test run the device. Professor Yakubu said INEC was also working with the National Union of Road Transport Workers to get logistic right from early commencement and conclusion of vote as well as declaration of results. President Muhammadu Buhari has said no single government was capable of solving all the problems of the country. He said the way out was for successive governments to be building on the foundation laid by previous administration. President Buhari, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, spoke at the State of the Nation dialogue organized by the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja. Speaking on the state of security in the country, the former Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, said the challenge in Nigeria is not much about the crime rate, but the prosecution of criminals to serve as a deterrent to others. The spokesperson to the Osun State Governor, Malam Olawale Rasheed, has reiterated that Senator Ademola Adeleke did not forge any testimonial or certificate. A release signed by Malam Olawale Rasheed explained that the issue of forgery has to do with the error on the school testimonial which bears Osun instead of Oyo State. According to him, Osun State was part of Oyo State when Governor Adeleke completed his high school education in 1981. Malam Olawale said the issuing school testified before Court of Appeal in 2018 that it was their error, which has nothing to do with Governor Adeleke. He added that the Court of Appeal had ruled that there was no forgery and exonerated Governor Adeleke of any forgery. Governor Ademola Adeleke has reiterated his commitment towards repositioning the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation Ile-Awiye Okebale Osogbo. Governor Adeleke, who spoke through his spokesperson Malam Rasheed Olawale during an interactive session with the management, said that Governor Adeleke will leave no stone unturned in rebranding the corporation. Soya Onoride completes the story.
Speaking at Iliawiye Okebale, Oshogbo, the state capital, during an interactive session with the management of the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Rashidi Olawale, noted that Governor Ademola Adeleke envisaged a corporation that is on an enviable pedestal, including operating on superlative fiber highwaves and competing favorably on prominent television platforms. Malam Olawale, who commended the management for a human performance despite myriads of impediments, said that Governor Adeleke is particularly committed towards repositioning the fortune of the corporation for the benefit of overall citizens. He therefore charged the management to identify means and ways of improving on broadcasting and revenue generation in realizing the vision of Governor Ademola Adeleke for the corporation.
I've listened to a lot of progress of work being done in terms of reviving and making the corporation very virile. The interactive session has been very helpful, and like I advised, we just want the corporation to continue to be bold, to be innovative, and to be very ambitious in terms of reforming the corporation. So, and we think we'll take it up from there. This will not be the last time for interaction. We'll still come back.
Speaking on the numerous challenges faced by the corporation, especially in the area of erratic power supplies, Director General of the corporation, Mr. Rashid Folarami, said that within the space of the present administration, the corporation has enjoyed the goodwill and support of Governor Ademola Adeleke, adding that the management is working relentlessly in re-engineering the system and repositioning the corporation, as well as being more aggressive in revenue generation and blocking leakages in meeting global best practices in broadcasting.
Especially we are focused on ICT-related areas of our transmission. Because these days, since we rely on can't go today, can't go tomorrow, in fact, the market is getting choked up. So we have expanded the stream.
Soya Onoride reporting for Osbc News.
Commercial banks in Nigeria will still accept old Naira notes from customers after February 10 deadline. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, told the House of Representatives today. Mr. Emefiele stated these while appearing before the ad hoc committee set up by the House on the CBN Naira redesign policy, although he did not state how long the expired notes will be admitted by the banks. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, had accused the CBN governor of breaching Section 20 of the CBN Act, which, according to him, mandates commercial banks to accept old notes even after the deadline. The Speaker recommended that after the expiration date, such Naira note change will no longer be legal tender, but also says that even 5 months, 3 months, or 2 months after, even in June, all the old note presented to the bank shall be redeemed by the bank. Meanwhile, Nigeria's economy is set to grow from 3.0% in 2022 to 3.2% in 2023 due to the measures made to address insecurity in the oil sector. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, disclosed these in its World Economic Outlook Update report, stating that growth across sub-Saharan Africa will moderate at 3.8% in 2023 amid prolonged fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. The organization also said South Africa's economy will fall from 2.6% in 2022 to 1.2% in 2023, stating that the sub-Saharan Africa growth is projected to remain moderate at 3.8% in 2023 amid prolonged fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, although with a modest upward revision since last year October before picking up to 4.1% in 2024. The Washington-based lender explained that growth in global economy will slow down in 2023 before bouncing back in 2024 as a result of the global fight against inflation and Russia's war in Ukraine weigh on activity. In the meantime, the federal government, through the Ministry of Transportation, has expressed optimism that importers and exporters in Nigeria will benefit immensely from the inland dry port being established in various parts of the country. The Minister of Transportation, Mazu Sambo, stated this at the commissioning of the Dala Inland Dry Port in Kano State. In a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Ensure Obupike, Sambo noted that the inland dry port projects will help decongest the seaport and also take shipping and port services closer to importers and exporters in the hinterland. He said the Dala Inland Dry Port in Zawa Chiki in Kano State. Muazu Sambo explained that the state was chosen for the project because of its position as a commercial capital of the northern Nigeria. Now we go on a commercial break.
Hey, this kilo, báwo la ti fẹ́ sanwó ni? Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go wash plate tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa?
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you dey turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Na wa go tell.
To know that you're still there. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, is on the path of repositioning the journalism profession in Nigeria to ensure that only qualified and practicing members will be part of the union. Chairman of the NUJ in Osun State, Comrade Wasiu Ajadoshu, stated these while reacting to the outcome of the Special Delegates Conference held recently in Kano, where the NUJ Constitution was amended to suit the purpose. Our reporter, Oluchi Ambuda, completes the story.
The role of journalists to inform and educate the public about events and issues and how they affect their lives has never been in doubt. However, the noble profession has come under serious criticisms with the way many now parade themselves as journalists, even without the requisite qualification to be described as such. Hence, the membership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists is being described as an all-comers affairs. The situation is about to change for the better if the outcome of the Special Delegates Conference recently held in Kano State is anything to go by. The conference, presided over by the National President of NUJ, Comrade Chris Isiguzo, approved and passed amendment to some provisions of its constitution, which now make first degree, higher national diploma or its equivalent in mass communication and related courses as the entry qualification for the practice of journalism in Nigeria and membership of the union. Speaking on this development, Osun State Chairman of the NUJ, Comrade Wasiu Ajadoshu, noted that the union is poised towards maintaining and upholding professionalism.
They deem it fit that it is necessary at this time that whoever is not a professional practicing, not with a platform, should not be taken in as a member of NUJ. You also agree with me that the Constitution also realized the need to bring those who are practicing online also on board, because if we neglect them and jettison them, it may spell doom for the union. So we agree that, okay, let them come on board. Those who have registered with CAC, who have a publication online, and who have the qualification, because the entry point into journalism practice now is HND, BSc, and PGD in journalism.
He noted that the conference has also streamlined its membership and listed and dissolved the National Orientation Agency and local government information chapels across the country and directed state councils to ensure full compliance with the provisions of the approved amendment to the NUJ Constitution.
No, the implication is that if we go a long way to reduce the size of the union, It will also give those who are the affairs of the union opportunity to manage the union with a very sizable number. That means the professionals have taken over their union.
Analysts believe the move, when fully implemented, will rid the journalism profession of quacks, reduce incidents of fake news, and restore the integrity of members of the fourth estate of the realm. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
A World Health Organization report on neglected tropical diseases has shown that Nigeria and 15 other countries have the highest burden of neglected tropical diseases. The report released noted that the 16 countries bear 80% of the global burden on NTDC. According to the report titled Global Report on Neglected Tropical Diseases 2023, countries with the highest burden and NTDCs are also the countries in which population growth will be fastest. NTDCs are the diverse group of 20 conditions that are mainly prevalent in tropical areas where they affect more than 1 billion people who live in improvised communities. The diseases are caused by varieties of pathogens including viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, and toxin. The World Health Organization report noted that COVID-19 disruption and financial constraints are not the only limiting factor and the way of reaching the 2030 target and the only reason for slow progress. Storm wreaked havoc in Ilare-Jesha community in Obokun East Local Government Development Area, Osun State, render many homes homeless as multi-million naira civic center collapses. The Owalare of Ilare-Jesha, Oba Adejoro Otebolaku, appealed to the authorities at all levels for intervention. Details of this report is presented from our studios. No fewer than 100 houses were blown off by storm, including police station, churches, shops, and residential buildings in Esaudo Road, Ilare. When pressmen visited the town, some of the victims whose properties were wrecked by the storm were seen weeping profusely, lamenting the unprecedented hazard. A major catastrophe incident was the collapse of the ultra-modern building Civic Center, a community development self-help project built by indigents of the community located along Esaudo Road, Ilare. The project, according to the spokesperson of the community, Dole Tope Abiola, said it was a self-help project which the community started about 8 years ago. While lamenting the hazard, the president of Ilare Development Association, Mr. Samuel Fabumi, regretted that the collapse of the building was a monumental loss to the town. Speaking in an emotion-laden voice with tears rolling on his cheeks, Mr. Fabumi stated that about 125 million naira had already been sunk into the project, voluntarily contributed by the illustrious sons and daughters of the town. Addressing inhabitants of this town who converged on the site of the collapsed building for an inter-religious prayer in the early hours of Monday, monarch of the town, His Royal Majesty Oba Adejoro Otebolaku, the Owalare of Ilare-Jesha, appealed to indigents of the town not to be devastated about the disaster, but thank God that there was no any loss of life in the mishap. He, however, called on the federal government through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to come to the aid of the rainstorm victims and the entire community. Oba Otebolaku declared that it was unfortunate for the community to experience such a colossal loss. Hence, the Ilare-Jesha is a community that had never benefited any social infrastructure from any tier of government. He enthused that all infrastructure in the community ranges from school, hospital, roads, post office, and other facilities in the town were self-help projects by the indigent. Stressed further that it is quite unfortunate to see the multi-million naira edifice put in place by sons and daughters blown off by the wind. You're now welcome to our sports segment. Arsenal have agreed a €12 million deal with Chelsea to sign Italy midfielder Jorginho, the 31-year-old who joined Chelsea from Napoli in 2018 into the final 6 months of his contract at Stamford Bridge. He will now have a medical before signing an 18-month contract with the option of for the year. Omotayo Adebodun has the details and more.
Is said to become Arsenal's third signing of the January window, the club having previously bought Poland defender Jakub Kiewel from Spezia for €20 million and Belgium striker Leandro Trossard, who moved from Brighton for £21 million. Mikel Arteta's side are 5 points clear at the top of the table in the Premier League with a game in hand on the side immediately below them. Jorginho has scored 29 goals in 213 appearances for Chelsea, winning the Champions League, Europa League, UEFA Super Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup during his time at the club. He was born in Brazil but moved to Italy at the age of 15 and opted to play for the Azuris at international level, capped 46 times, and was part of the Italy side that beat England to win Euro 2020 at Wembley in July 2021. Meanwhile, Manchester United's Christian Eriksen is said to be out until at least late April after sustaining an ankle injury in his side's FA Cup win over Reading on Saturday. United's manager Erik ten Hag believes the club have the players who can fill the gap caused by Eriksen's absence. The Denmark midfielder has made 31 appearances for United this season. The former Ajax, Tottenham, Inter Milan and Brentford player signed a 3-year contract at Old Trafford in the summer, and United are already missing midfielder Donny van de Beek, who was ruled out for the rest of the season with a nail injury. In the meantime, the draw for the 2023 Osbc five-a-side football competition comes up at noon tomorrow at the boardroom of the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Okebale, Osogbo. A release by the chairman main organizing committee of the competition, Muideen Adeleke, indicates that the event would feature the grouping of the registered clubs, among others. The event will attract the representatives of the State Football Association, members of the Grassroots Football Coaches Association, and one representative of each of the registered clubs. The statement adds that the competition, among others, aimed at providing a platform to discover budding football talent with a view to assisting them to reach stardom. It charges well-spirited members of the public to key into the effort at assisting talented footballers realize their lifetime dreams, as well as being in the vanguard at reducing unemployment among the teeming youths. Omotayo Adebodun, Osbc News.
On the foreign scene, United Nations experts today call for an independent investigation into possible war crimes and crimes against humanity in Mali by government forces and Russian private military contractor. Abdul Jalil Adebisi of our foreign desk completes the story.
Mali, whose government took power in 2021 military coup, has previously said Russian forces in the West African country are not mercenaries but trainers helping local troops with equipment bought from Moscow. Western powers say the Russian forces in Mali include Wagner Group contractors. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that the Russian state had nothing to do with the military contractors working in Mali, adding that the African country had the right to work with private Russian firms. 24 Madagascans have died and tens of thousands been left homeless since a severe tropical storm made landfall and swirled for days off the island's western coast. Official records show Cyclone Chenezo smashed into northeastern Madagascar, bringing heavy winds and triggering downpours that have caused extensive flooding. It has tracked southeastward, extending damage to houses, schools, and cutting off several national roads. According to an update from Madagascar's Risk Management Office, 25 people have died and 21 others are still missing. A rescue and recovery operation continues in Pakistan after a suicide bombing at a mosque in the northwestern city of Peshawar killed at least 92 people. A spokesperson for the Lady Reading Hospital in Peshawar, Mohammed Azim, stated that at least 170 people were also injured in the blast. The report says the vast majority of those killed were police officers and 52 wounded people remained in hospital, with 6 in a critical condition. The chief rescue official, Bilal Fassi, said rescue teams are still working at the site where more people could still be trapped. Abdul Jalil at DBC OSBC News.
Concludes the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Michael Adeni. My name is David Ojo. Thanks for watching and bye for now.